The discovery of the ancient city was made in the province of Nevshehir in Cappadocia, a semi-arid region of central Turkey. It took place when around 1,500 houses in 11 neighborhoods around an ancient Byzantine citadel in central Nevshehir were being demolished by the Housing Development Administration, TOKİ, to start a new urban project. The director of TOKİ, Mehmet Ergun Turan, said, "We stopped the construction we were planning to do on these areas when an underground city was discovered." Initial examination found roughly 4.3 miles long underground city of 3 floors, consisting of houses, tunnels, churches, wine cellars, food storage areas and galleries. The mayor of Nevshehir, Hasan Unver, commented on the huge importance of the find. He said, "The underground city was found in the 45 hectares of the local 75-hectare area that is within the Urban Transformation Project. We applied to the Cultural and Natural Heritage Preservation Board and the area was officially registered. It has a 7-kilometer road dotted with churches, galleries and other structures. It's estimated that the city dates back to the era of the Hittites, similar to other underground cities. We are now working to make it open for visitors. We will build walking platforms inside and a large park will be built on the surface. The other underground cities in Nevshehir's various districts do not even amount to the kitchen of this new underground city." Realizing the immense importance of the discovery of the Nevshehir city, authorities abruptly halted the housing project and called in archaeologists and geophysicists who began investigating on the site. Özgen Kakia, an associate professor at the Çanakkale 18th March University, who was involved in the excavations, believed that the tunnels at the site were used to carry agricultural products. He said, "We believe that people who were engaged in agriculture were using the tunnels to carry agricultural products to the city. We also estimate that one of the tunnels passes under Nevshehir and reaches a faraway water source." Indeed, most academics believe that the huge network of underground houses and tunnels was home to thousands of people who were part of a farming community that existed around 3000 BC. Local folklore talks of an underground city in the area which people call Giegor, which translates into English as enter and see. Geophysicists from Nevshehir University conducted a detailed survey of the site and found it to cover almost 5 million square feet. The survey also suggests that the underground corridors may reach down as deep as 371 feet, which would make it the largest of all underground cities. Mayor Hasan Unver commented on the results of the extensive archaeological work being carried out at the site. He said, "We have reached 7-kilometer-long galleries, unearthed a normal living space, as well as a 12th century rock-carved church, a 6th century monastery and mosque-like religious places, which date back to the Seljuk era. We've also found horse barns where military horses had been cared for. In addition, we found 4 oil houses and hundreds of tobacco pipes made of meerschaum. Everything here is under our control." The newly discovered site at Nevshehir lies beneath a Byzantine-era hilltop castle in an area which is home to countless subterranean settlements of varying sizes and possibly of varying dates as well. Derinkuyu. The largest of these is in the Derinkuyu district, just over 18 miles from Nevshehir, and goes down to a depth of approximately 197 feet, equal to the height of an 8th-story building, and large enough to accommodate around 20,000 people. The massive underground city has thousands of ventilation shafts and water channels which provided fresh air and water to each level of the site. Derinkuyu was probably first established around the 7th or 8th century BC, most likely as protection against invading forces. The city was protected by doors which consisted of massive stone wheels that could be rolled into place to block an entrance. One of Derinkuyu's most interesting features is a large room with vaulted ceilings, which is believed to have been a religious school with a separate study room. Derinkuyu was also connected to other underground cities in the region through a sophisticated network of tunnels. These enigmatic underground cities in Cappadocia were carved into the soft volcanic rock thousands of years ago. But as stone is non-organic, it's difficult to accurately date these cities. They may have been originated during the Hittite period from 1600 to 1200 BC, or even earlier. They're often attributed to the Phrygians, an ancient people of west-central Anatolia, whose most famous king was Midas of the Golden Touch. The state of Phrygia arose in the region in the 8th century BC. Since ancient times, Turkey has been a major trade hub between Asia and Europe, and thus has been invaded and conquered repeatedly by different peoples over thousands of years. Consequently, the purpose of these underground cities is usually connected with concealment from invaders. The most active period of inhabitation of these subterranean worlds was during the Byzantine period from 395 AD to 1453 AD, when regular invasions by foreign armies forced locals to hide underground. Many of these cities continued in use right up until the 20th century, when people hid there to save themselves from persecution during the Ottoman Empire. In fact, it was not until 1923, after the population exchange between Greece and Turkey, that these underground cities were finally abandoned and not rediscovered until 1963. At the moment, Derinkuyu is the largest excavated underground city in the world, but many believe that when Nevshehir is fully excavated, that title may well change hands. Makli. There are a staggering 200 or more underground towns and cities in Cappadocia, many of which are wholly or partly open to the public. One of the best known of them is Makli underground town, located about 12 miles from Nevshehir and built under the hill known as the Citadel of Makli. It's connected to Derinkuyu by miles of ancient tunnels and was open to visitors as early as 1964. The subterranean town consists of 8 floors, 4 of which are open to the public today. The spaces in the underground town, which are organized around ventilation shafts, were made into stables, storage rooms, wineries, and kitchens. Archaeologists believe this underground village could have been a temporary home for up to 3,500 people. On the 3rd level of the settlement, archaeologists discovered an unusual block of andesite, which was used by the ancient inhabitants for cold-forming copper. The ancient name of the town was Enigup, and experts believe construction may have begun by the Phrygians in the 8th to 7th centuries BC. It was used much later in the Byzantine era for protection against Muslim Arabs during the Arab-Byzantine Wars of 780 to 1180 AD. The modern village on the site is built almost around 100 tunnels of the underground city. These tunnels are still used today by the villagers as storage areas, stables and cellars, accessed via the courtyards of the houses in the village. There is actually an astonishing eyewitness account of these underground Cappadocian cities, which gives us a vivid idea of what they must have been like. It was written in 370 BC by the ancient Greek professional soldier and writer Xenophon, and tells of the expedition of a large army of Greek mercenaries hired by Persian Prince Cyrus the Younger to help him seize the throne of Persia from his brother. During their travels, they came upon a strange village somewhere in Anatolia, modern Turkey, which Xenophon describes as follows. The houses were underground, with a mouth like that of a well, but spacious below, and while entrances were tunneled down for the beasts of burden, the human inhabitants descended by ladder. In the houses were goats, sheep, cattle, fowl, and their young, and all the animals were reared and took their fodder there in the houses. Here were also wheat, barley and beans, and barley wine in large bowls. Floating on the top of this drink were the barley grains, and in it were straws, some larger and others smaller, without joints, and when one was thirsty, one had to take these straws into his mouth and suck. It was an extremely strong drink unless one diluted it with water, and extremely good when one was used to it.